What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and kind of more of like an update quick video here for you guys today, as it's Friday, trick-or-treating, Halloween, all that stuff, and I am working on the scenes for a weekend new realistic rebuild. But I'm seeing time and time again, I don't know how many times I've answered this question between last year and this year, when I'm on console, what draft classes are you using for your realistic rebuilds? There are hundreds of draft classes out there. I sniff through the best, and I find the best of the best. And we are here once again with a content creator that has a 2026 draft class and a 2027 draft class that I think even just by making this video, if we can pump those numbers up and appreciate his work, this video has achieved its goal. So we have right here, quick preview of the 2026 draft class. And he just, as of, I think 2 days ago, dropped a 2027 draft class that correlates. They work together. There's no duplicate players. You run both of them in your franchise modes. Check out his YouTube channel, Sports Gaming Rosters. We utilized his draft classes last year when we were on console. Now, at the end of the day, once we start getting the modded classes on PC, there's just no way a console class will ever be able to handle and hold up against the modded PC classes where we can mod in like the real player portraits and stuff like that. But if you are playing on console, and I've looked at all of the top draft classes, again, for the second straight year, Sports Gaming Rosters have made the best one. So how to download these classes? You go to the roster share, and I'm not going to take any shots here at any of these people that have created draft classes. As someone that, as of what, it was probably 3 years ago, I used to do yearly, 2020, well, you know, 3 years worth of draft classes every year. I know how tedious it is. I know how freaking long it takes. I know how much work, weeks, hours to get draft classes done. And then on top of that, you do the work. Sometimes Madden will just like bug out, glitch, things under your complete control. It's incredibly frustrating. There's a reason why I stopped doing it. I don't got the time to deal with the bugs and stuff like that. But I'm seeing the numbers on these draft classes, and I'm not taking shots at any of these draft classes, but like from my opinion, if you like my style of content and you want to rebuild the way I rebuild, these classes are far and away the best draft classes. How you find them? Very simple. Search by keywords. All you have to type in is SGR. You don't have to type in like the big long word. You look for SGR, and it's the Big Gargamel is the username here. You're going to want the draft class volume 2 right there, right next to each other. SGR 2026 2, SGR 2027 2. Go check it out. Go give it likes. Go check out his YouTube. Tell him C4 sent you. These are the kind of people that we need to continue to support, continue to platform, continue to encourage, because they are huge parts of this Madden franchise community. So I have yet to utilize a rebuild with 2026 and 2027. We're going to quickly kind of just go through the players here as I break down like why I think these draft classes are the best. And I very much am a hipster when it comes to this, because I used to have like the top downloaded draft classes every year. I would go to EA events and have developers and people that work on the team saying, man, shout out for that PC class, man. I love utilizing it. Like I remember they had a league going on at EA and they were using my draft classes in like the EA official league. Like that was pretty badass to see. So like, you know, there's little things that I like to see in draft classes. I think these SGR classes get just right. When I'm looking around, like I give everyone a chance, equal opportunities. And I think the biggest issue, first of all, is you got to decide like who's coming in the class. You have to decide when you're making this class, where do you want the underclassmen, where do you want the redshirt sophomores and the juniors? And for the longest time, we've only had this 2026 class. So there was always the argument like, well, where's this guy? He's clearly going to be there. Before this last update, like Mendoza wasn't in this class. Dante Moore wasn't in this class because these guys are underclassmen. But now that you have 2026 and 2027, we have that coverage of bubble of play that you're going to get every single player that is a top name, that is an exciting name that you would want to use in a rebuild. They are going to be at your disposal now because we have that 2-year coverage for this year's draft class. So that's nice that we now have both those. And when I do my rebuilds, I'd say they're probably about 90% these SGR classes. It does come down to personal opinion a little bit. And I don't mingle too much. Maybe, you know, looking for some of the first round players, but I really do like to have drafting a day 3 guy that ends up having a dev trait that I had no idea, because there's the luxury now of not creating the class where I don't know every single player's rating. I don't know every single player's dev trait. I like that mystery just a little bit. That was probably the worst thing when I would do rebuilds on my own draft classes, is I kind of knew, you know, those guys that were in the 3rd round, those guys that were day 3 picks, that were going to have some pretty big dev traits or like the cheesy guys like that. It was, you know, you play a little bit of, you know, play dumb a little bit like, oh, this guy's a dev trait, but like, I remember I made that guy a dev trait. So I really think the work on these draft classes is really good. And now that we have 2 years that correlate with one another, you just have all those names, all those top targets that you see on Saturdays that you want to utilize in your Madden franchises for Sundays. Like in 2026, there's no Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson could go in 2026, but we get him in 2027. I think Levitt from Arizona State, Mateer from Oklahoma, like those are guys that could be going in 2026. And when there wasn't a 2027 class, maybe a little annoying, but now again, you got that coverage. So the reason why I think above all these SGR classes are worthy of your time to not only stick it out and watch this part of the video, but to even just click on this video because you're in search of some really good draft classes, is you got to find the balance. And I feel like a lot of draft classes that are on the roster here that are the top draft, like they're too overpowered. Like too many superstar dev traits. Every good player is almost viewed as if it's like a perfect scenario, right? Like Jeremiah Smith, I haven't used this class yet. Like Jeremiah Smith probably should be a superstar, right? But then you'd go and look at, you know, Seaton. He'd be a superstar. Lomo could be a superstar. You could have any other first round. Connor Liu, the center, could be a superstar on some of these classes. It just feels like, you know, you got to strike the balance between fun and realistic. Because when you want to keep it fun, you're probably going to make your draft classes maybe a little bit more like the Madden generated draft classes, where especially this year in Madden 26, you were seeing a lot more 80+ rated players. And I suppose you did see a lot more 80+ rated players in the rookie ratings, right? Like Travis Hunter and stuff like that. But generally speaking, if like over the last 5 Maddens, if you compared what the rookie ratings on a game at launch is in comparison to the generated draft classes that the game populates for you, I would say almost 100% of the time, the real rookie ratings are almost always lower than what you were getting in the Madden generated draft classes. And I've always kind of liked that and appreciated that as an option, where it's like, I just, nothing is worse than an overpowered draft class where everybody has a dev trait, everybody is 75+. I think you need to have that little sense of realism where there's studs. Maybe you'll get guys that are sub 70 overall, but they might have a dev trait that gives them a higher ceiling. And I think that's what you get with these SGR classes. It strikes a nice balance between fun players still being fun and the draft class still being fun. And when you land a stud, they're going to be a stud for you. With also, you know, not everybody's going to be good. Some guys are going to be in the 60s, and you're going to have to live with that. Some guys that you may know that have like Whit Weeks from LSU, you know, he got a lot of popularity from the Netflix show. But the reality is, you know, he might only end up being like a 66, 67 overall normal. Where you have other draft classes, but because he was kind of popular and all the stuff on social media with like Lane Kiffin's kid, like, oh, let's make him overpowered. Let's give him a superstar dev. I feel like these draft classes really find that balance, and that is why I cannot co-sign them enough. So in closing, go check out Sports Gaming Rosters. I know, obviously, you know, I'm not expecting a huge bump. We could probably get him to 8,000 subscribers. He needs a couple hundred more. Go check him out. These are the type of people that I truly appreciate that are part of the Madden franchise mode community, because, you know, I'm retired from, we'll just say I'm retired from making draft classes. There was a void there of like, can someone make a damn good console draft class? And I think this is the guy. This is the guy that we need to get behind. This is the guy that we need to support. Go check him out. Go comment on all his videos. Go download his draft classes. Go thumb up all of his draft classes, and let's see if we can get him the top of those download charts by the end of this game cycle. But that'll do it for me today, guys. I am now going to go record a brand new realistic rebuild that hopefully will be out to you guys on Saturday, depending on how Halloween stuff, like literally, I got a freaking, the Jamaica hurricane. I'm getting the aftermath right now, like power's flickering. Who knows? But the plan will be a new realistic rebuild. Didn't really know what I was going to do, and I'm literally looking on my other screen here on X that the Miami Dolphins just fired their GM after a horrific performance on Thursday Night Football last night. So, hey, maybe we'll do the Dolphins. That's a fun rebuild. 2026, 2027 draft classes. Go check it out. That'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, it's your boy C4. Saying peace, I love you. Have a good one.